So a little while ago, I bought this Ryobi drill press. It's only a boy, but for what I want to do here in the workshop, it should be more than adequate. But the catch is, as you can sort of see, it's a little bit rusty. I'd say it's been used, probably replaced with a bigger unit, and then sat somewhere where it got sort of damp and yeah. So first of all, we'll give it a go, just see if the motor works. I mean, it was electrically tested when I got it, but all that means, I think, is it's not a dead short circuit. So in a sec, we'll power it up, see if the motor works, and yeah, and we'll go from there. We're going to have to pull it down though and clean it up, because yeah, it's a bit it's a bit rusty and horrible. So yeah, let's hook into it. Okay, so we'll open it up, and we see we've got a second belt here. Don't quite know what that's for, because it's not a spare belt, because it's longer than, there's no combination of pulleys where that belt would fit. So don't know what that's about. Anyway, so we'll loosen this off, and then we can oh, it's flimsy. It's like a home grade drill press. It's flimsy. Take this belt off and plug in some power. So this is our power. So I should just spin the motor, make sure the motor does spin. So that's a start. Let's try turning it on, see what happens. Well, the motor spins. So our spindle here spins. It doesn't feel, neither of those feel like loose. So our belt, we'll put our belt back on. And these are always good if you get your fingers caught in them. Right. Put our belt on, and that should now spin up. So let's see what it does. Okay, so it spins up. I mean, it's not whisper quiet, but yeah, residential grade drill press. So at least it's not squeaky and horrible, and the bearings aren't. Oh, undo that. Loosen it off a bit. Rightio. So yeah, and it works. It comes down. It's not. Oh, the chuck's a little bit loose there, but we'll see how that goes as we work on it. So I think the next thing to do is going to be to pretty much pull it down. See how some of these parts go in the ultrasonic cleaner. I mean, that it is rust, but there's also grease and stuff on there. So yeah, we'll pull it down, see how we go. Okay, so we'll put some pieces in the ultrasonic. I've just got some dish soap in there, and it's pretty warm because I filled it with hot water. Oh, it's pretty warm. Put that in. That's probably all that we'll do for this round, and we will turn it on, see what happens. Okay, let's have a bit of a flipper. Oh, it's hot. It's very hot. Bit of a flip around to some of these things. That's sticking through the bottom. All right, give it another go. So a bit of a quick with the wire wheel here, just to clean off the rest of the rust. There's a bit of a handful without a vise to put it in. I do have a vise, but I don't yet have a workbench to bolt it to. So yeah, that's another project I've got to get to at some point. Some of the other parts I took to Dad's place so I could use his bench grinder wire wheel. He's got a wire wheel on just a bench grinder. And yeah, in the throes of building a wire wheel, like a bench mounted wire wheel for myself, so I don't have to do that. So a quick spray with some etch primer, just as a base coat for the paint to help make it stick, and then onto some painting some black parts, and we'll give those a couple of coats, and finally onto the blue parts. And as you can tell, I'm not exactly a master spray painter. I'm being a bit lazy with the technique here, but yeah, it's a second-hand drill going in the workshop, so it's going to get scuffed up and scratched up, so I'm not too precious about the paint job. So back in the workshop, and time to peel off some of the masking tape and clean up some of the overspray. And now we'll start bolting it back together, starting with like the main support stem that holds the motor assembly. And now we'll get the main part of the drill, the motor, the gearbox, I use the term loosely, the spindle and so on. We'll get that in place. Basically as just a pointer to point to that gauge. So as you're drilling, it's like I've drilled 1 centimetre, or I've drilled, well, I can't get down to an inch with that. There you go. Or I've drilled down to an inch. So that's all that's for. Right, now I can put the chuck on. Chuck is on. I can probably bring this table up. I'm guessing somewhere around there is probably going to be all right. By the time you get a drill in there. Now the chuck key. What did I do with the chuck key? It came with the chuck key. It was a fairly worn chuck key, but it came. Oh, I've got to put the belt back on too. So not that belt, because that's stupidly long. I don't know what that belt was for. I'm actually building a benchtop wire wheel out of an old thing I salvaged from the tip. So that belt might actually be handy for that. Anyway, this is the proper belt for this. So we'll we won't go for the super high speed. Actually, I should put that on. And then work our way up. We'll go down mid-range. So this should give us 1370 RPM. Right. And other than the chuck key that I've got to find, one chuck key, and as you can see, it's seen a bit of use. Anyway, I wonder if there's somewhere I can. It'd be good to hang it somewhere, but without it getting tangled in stuff. So maybe I won't bother. Maybe I will just. Unclip, because it's just going to annoy me. Oh, it's got a better hold than I thought it did. Just trying to spread this link. There we go. Right, and now when I find it again, yep, now it'll just unhook. Said now it'll just unhook like that. And now I've got a free chuck key, which is actually slightly bent, but doesn't matter. And that will work. And when I'm not using it, I'll just sit it there. Right, so we should undo this depth stop. Let it go all the way. So I should clean that off and re-lubricate it, because that's a bit gnarly. Someone got overspray all over the cord, and I can't be bothered cleaning it off. So, just a bit of scrappy metal that's laying on the floor. Yeah, I don't know, we'll get a 4mm drill. The drill press could probably do to be set to run a whole lot faster than this for such a small drill, but we'll see how we go. Oh, that's a blunt drill. Oh. It was partly a blunt drill, and also that the table's down too low. I was actually hitting the depth stop on the other side. So let's come up a bit. Yep, another hole. Actually, that drill's not that blunt. It was just the depth stop I was hitting. So yeah, I think we can call that successful. Now I just need to build a workbench to put this on.